Hope everybody's doing well. I'm just going to start with an update because obviously we haven't been able to answer some of these questions. Teo has joined the team for practice, so it's good to have him out there. And then for this trip, for various reasons, from NBA guidelines to our own internal like camp management to some nicks and bruises, we're not going to be traveling 7 players. We won't be traveling Dort, Baisley, Horford, Justin Jackson, Ty Jerome, Josh Hall, and Darius Miller. So those guys will be in Oklahoma City. They won't join the team for this particular trip, like I said, for various reasons. And I just wanted to make sure that I'm providing you guys with that update. That seems to be a question that's coming up, and wanted to make sure that we were being transparent there. So.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go to Brady Trantham with the franchise.
Coach, I'm sorry, dumb question. Do you mind repeating those names? I got Lou Dort, Darius Baisley, Al Horford. I'm so sorry.
That's all right, Brady. I just have to remember them again. Baisley, Dort, Horford, Justin Jackson, Darius Miller, Ty Jerome, Josh Hall.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Coach? Go to Joe Masato with the Oklahoman.
Yeah, Mark, what has it been like having Teo with you the first couple days? And it does sound like he is going to be one of the guys traveling tomorrow. What are you looking for out of him in the first preseason game?
He's been good. I mean, he's been impressive. He's got a great way about him for a young player. I would describe him as a young professional, with the way that he approaches people, the way that he operates inside the building, and the way he practices and plays. There's a great poise and maturity to him. You can tell he's been around high-level basketball and been a professional for a period of time. In terms of what to expect, it's just like any of these other guys, just establishing a baseline and a starting point, kind of seeing where he's at, seeing where he's advanced, and seeing some ways where he can improve, and allowing those touch points to guide his player development plan moving forward. But it's been great to have him out there, and he's impressed us so far. I think he's impressed his teammates as well.
Next, we have Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman.
Hey, Mark, considering you're taking a shorter bench tomorrow night, I mean, I know obviously everybody hopes that you have a full complement of players every time you hit the court, but the way this season may go, is this just going to be one of those things that you're going to kind of have to get used to, that night to night, guys might be unavailable, you might have to adjust? Is this one of those deals that you and the players will have to sort of become accustomed to?
Possibly, that's obviously possible with COVID and testing and all that stuff. On top of all the natural things that happen over the course of a long season with injuries and management of load and that sort of thing. So, it's something that we obviously have to expect, but it's hard to prepare for. So it's just a matter of figuring out who's available and figuring out the best thing for that particular night. That's what we're doing tomorrow, and we'll continue to do it throughout the year. Every time, you're missing players, it's opportunities for other guys. It's opportunities to see kind of a different version of the team. And so there's kind of an opportunity, presented with some of the volatility as well. And so, we'll look forward to making the most of those situations when they do come up.
I was going to ask a follow-up sort of to that end. When you consider that you are taking a different bunch tomorrow for that game, what are sort of your hopes and expectations? What do you want to see out of that group when you come to the end of the night? What are those hallmarks and benchmarks you're looking to accomplish?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think in practice we've played, really hard and competitively. The team's done a great job of playing together. We've really tried to clean up our execution on both ends of the floor, which, obviously when we're getting everybody on the same page to start training camp, that's always the challenge. And tomorrow is an opportunity to carry all that over in a game against an opponent on the road and, see kind of where we're at. It's always good to get that first preseason game because it's a great evaluation point. We figure out kind of what has stuck and what we need to clean up. And that's how you continue to use these experiences to get better. And so that's what we'll do with tomorrow.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep. Thanks, Jenny.
Back to Brady Trantham with the franchise.
And Coach, with so many players not traveling, do you see this as a positive for a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that you guys have already stressed that you want him to take a bigger role, just in terms of he's going to be playing with a bunch of players that he may not be playing with as you guys get into the season? Like, do you see this as a positive, or how do you see this in terms of his development?
Sure. I mean, obviously, we'd like to have everybody available always, but that's obviously not the reality of competition, and especially this season. And so the guys that are available, it's an opportunity for everybody. It's an opportunity for Shai for the reasons that you listed, and it's also an opportunity for you're not going to play 20 guys in a preseason game, and so it's an opportunity to get some guys out there and give them some experience, or an opportunity to try to make the roster, and an opportunity for us to evaluate everybody, evaluate their starting points, evaluate how they might be able to help the team. And so it's an opportunity for us, it's an opportunity for them. Every time the ball goes up in the air, it's an opportunity for our team and for the individual players.
Go to Joe Masato with the Oklahoman.
Mark, Isaiah Roby is a guy we haven't seen a ton of. I know he was injured some last year, didn't travel to the bubble. He just told us he's healthy now going into this year, and I just was wondering what he's looked like so far during camp.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of him either. And what we have seen, we're trying to really start from zero with him, because when he was traded here, he kind of had a nagging thing going on, and we took care of that over the summer, and he did a great job with his return to play. And obviously wasn't with us in the bubble, but was working hard on his rehab then. And a credit to him, he came into camp healthy and fresh, and is in really, really good condition. He's handled these days really well. And so, yeah, we're just like we're trying to use this as a starting point for him, and understand kind of where he is and what his game is. He's another guy, he's only got a year. He's been 2 places. He's dealt with an injury, so he's kind of tough to pin down when it comes to what kind of player he is or is going to be. And so we've just tried to remain very open, same way we do with really all of these developmentally staged players. And he's had a good week. I mean, he's a good player that has some versatility. He's got size, and he's got a little bit of athleticism that we probably weren't able to see because of the injury that he had last season that he was dealing with when he first got here.
Yeah, Coach, obviously it's a short off season of summer league, normal stuff for rookies and stuff like that you would do in the off season. Does it make the practices or even the preseason games more valuable in terms of what they can do, and do they have a chance to make your team the G League or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, with this, fewer touch points, when you have to make some of these decisions, it makes these touch points more valuable. But I think the bigger lesson is, we should be then taking longer to draw conclusions, because we don't have the larger sample size up until this point. And so, when you have a summer league or maybe a fall, there's an opinion kind of forming of the team or the players that we're not able to form right now. And I think, what we're trying to do is have the discipline to remain open for longer, and to allow things to unfold naturally, and allow kind of the players and the team to tell us kind of what we need to do next and where we need to go. And so, these are all valuable practices. They're valuable preseason games, but we're going to need to continue the evaluation process of the players and the team well into the season because of what you're talking about.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys, have a good weekend.